Girls who have been guilted into going out with a nice guy, how did it go? He was genuinely nice and I thought I was being too picky and maybe I could see this through, if I took the effort of getting to know him. But every time I offered a contradictory point of view on any generic topic of discussion, he would proceed to casually mock my appearance, attire and my personality, in retaliation to my disagreement. That was the last date, obviously. All my friends said a guy from our group of friends was very nice, even though I felt like he was creepy. Went out once, thought I'd give it a chance, to be nice. Regretted it immediately. He asked me what I thought of being in a relationship with him, and when I said no/I didn't want that, because I wasn't very interested and we had only been friends before this, he said he was disappointed with my answer and expected something more worthy of him. He said that saying no was disrespectful. Big yikes. We met once after that because he surprise visited me a few months later. He asked me to ruffle through my hair because he wanted to feel my scalp, treated me like a dog and wanted me to sit next to him so he'd be closer to me. He also thought it was a great idea to mention that he sometimes hears voices in his head and has dreamt of killing people. I rushed him out of my apartment onto the street. I just wanted him to be gone. I checked my keys 5 times to see whether he took any. I've had to see him a couple times since then, and he is the most creepy, socially inept person I've ever met. He's so aggressive and impulsive. I am truly afraid he will rape or kill someone someday, and I'm still afraid that that person could be me. We were friends in high school and most of college. It was one of those things where he was a friend of a friend, but we always went to the same parties, hung together in the same group and so on. The guys in the group would always say things like, "Aw man, you and Kyle would be so great together. You should give him a shot." I'd kind of laugh it off because for a majority of the time I had a boyfriend. Eventually me and the boyfriend broke up, and about a week later Kyle asked me out. I wasn't really ready, but I figured it was a first date and everyone had been pressuring me into giving this guy a chance so I went. The whole evening was awkward. We just ordered a pizza and watched movies, which was what we did in our friend group anyways, but this guy would not stop staring. I felt like I couldn't even eat because I was under a microscope. The evening ended uneventfully, but then there was the aftermath. We kept texting and seeing each other in the friend group, and about a week later he asked when we can have another date. I told him that maybe I had rushed into things too fast and I just wasn't feeling any connection with him. I broke up with my girlfriend for you. Yup, dude found out I was single, dumped his girlfriend of 8 months just so he could ask me out to an awkward pizza date in his bedroom. The timely cherry on top is that they got back together, and apparently I'm tearing their marriage apart because she found a bunch of texts from me from 6 years ago and he admitted that he kept them cause he still likes me. I haven't seen him in 4 years. The date wasn't too bad, although he kept changing pretty much every single sentence he said so it would fit my interest. Something like, "I like ice cream, cool, I like frozen yogurt, oh yeah, that's what I meant. Ice cream is nice but frozen yogurt is amazing," and so on for 4 hours straight. At the end I had no idea what he was actually like. He also kissed me in the most awkward way possible. I guess he thought it was going to be romantic and spontaneous but it wasn't. Then kissed me again when he walked me to the train station. He hugged me so hard I couldn't breathe and started making weird noises, kind of like what some people do during heavy, pre-sex makeout sessions, except it was a rather quick kiss in a public place. Started texting me before I even got home and when I didn't answer, got upset. Told him he was nice but I don't think we'd work out. Said it's cool, asked if we can stay friends. Silly me, I said yes. We kept talking for about a month, during which he very friendly kept checking if I had slept with someone else and making sure I know how much of a sex god he is. You know, I once even made my lesbian friend come super hard. This is also the time I met my current BF and was meeting a bunch of new people at uni, so we'd talk less and less each week. Then one day he asked me out. I said I wasn't sure if he was completely fine with us being just friends so that wouldn't be appropriate. He went on this massive rant about how he'd actually been seeing someone else in that time, but they broke up shortly before that, how he's so over me and didn't even think I'm that hot anymore and how nothing would happen. I said no, because I was broke and couldn't fully enjoy myself while worrying about not spending too much. We were supposed to go to a Metallica concert, apparently his best friend had spent £120 on his ticket but then last minute found something better to do, but he promised he'd take care of everything and we could chill at his place with pizza and some films, as friends. I said I could consider the concert but there's no way I'd stay over. I mentioned texting someone else to see if they would be fine with me sleeping over at theirs afterwards. He jokingly asked if it's someone I'm sleeping with and I said it's none of his business. Then he told me how much of a bitch I was for sleeping with other people and not sleeping with him, said it's so unfair that he knew me so much better but he felt like other people had more rights to me than him and that we kissed and he didn't expect me to be this slutty, BTW. I did not want to kiss him, it was just so random. I felt him making out with me before I even realized what his intentions were and stopped it rather quickly. He called me a few more names, said he's such a nice guy and didn't deserve to be treated like that, and we never spoke again. I was a college freshman. First week of school, I was in my dorm hangout area going through the calendar on my phone to add exams to my schedule. I didn't realize that nice guy was looking over my shoulder as I was doing so. He goes, "I see you don't have plans on Saturday, we're going to breakfast." I continually objected and said I just hadn't gotten around to adding anything to it yet. He wouldn't leave me alone about it all week, so eventually I agreed to go on Saturday. I was purposely on my worst behavior in an attempt to repulse him because clearly, my opinion didn't matter otherwise. He ended the date by calling his mom, telling her that he met his future bride, that we were going to give her grandchildren. He handed the phone to me, so I straight up told his mother that I had no interest and was only there because he wouldn't leave me be, and apparently acting like a barnyard animal wasn't enough of a turnoff. Mom laughed and said, "Sounds like my boy." He would sit on the couch outside my dorm door to bombard me whenever I tried to go anywhere, followed me to and from classes for 2 months, and tried to befriend my roommate to get closer to me before moving on to a new target. She ended up with a restraining order against him. Wasn't really a date. I was at a hiking trip with my sister and other people from our village when we met a group of guys, drinking and having fun. Was on German Father's Day, so it wasn't an unusual sight. For some reason my sister got into a talk with the guys and somehow got me and her invited for the party at one of the guys' house later. No big deal, we brought her boyfriend with us and were expecting some good time. My boyfriend was on a biking trip with his dad, so he couldn't come. We arrive and nobody else is there. Guy says they will all arrive later and we are early, 30 minutes after the time he told us to be there, and we start drinking, having fun and everything. He clearly has a thing for me, invites me to go on festivals with him. Sister's boyfriend tells me I would be stupid if I say no and he would totally be going. The others arrive and at some point the homeowner asks me to go out for a walk, he needs some air. We walk a bit and suddenly he turns around, telling me I am the love of his life, the girl meant for him, most beautiful, smart etc. he has ever seen. I was shocked and didn't know what to say except, "I have a boyfriend, you know." He said he doesn't care, we're clearly soulmates, and then just kisses me out of nowhere. Tells me he would break up with his girlfriend for me, he never mentioned her before, and I should do the same. Luckily, my sister blacked out on the toilet and someone shouted at him for help unlocking the door, so we went back up. I took care of my sister, his girlfriend arrived, he pulled me aside and told me he would do it now, right here. I said, no, and he told me to take my sister and leave, what I did then. He messaged me on Facebook the next day that I was a whore and I lead him on, and he almost broke up with his future wife for a B*TCH like me. I was that girl who loved the bad boys. My nice guy had been my best friend for a number of years and I always knew he liked me, but I was busy chasing assholes. 9 years we were best friends and grew up together, and he watched me pick all the wrong people and get hurt. Other friends kept telling me to give it a chance etc. 2 years ago he asked me to come over for dinner. It seemed fairly casual until I realized he'd asked me for Valentine's Day. I can't say I was guilt as such, but it still felt a little awkward. I was mega nervous thinking it was gonna be so awkward, but when I turned up it was fine. He'd cooked me a meal, bought flowers, a bottle of wine and chocolates and lit candles on the table. I don't drink much, so he ended up getting through the whole bottle of wine because he was so nervous, but it was a lovely evening and things felt very natural, so I decided to give it a go. We're now headed towards our 2nd anniversary, have a lovely home together, a beautiful, but evil, Egyptian Mao cat, and couldn't be happier. Because we were friends first, we know we get on, we finish each other's sentences and never run out of conversation. Yet to have one argument that goes beyond whose turn it is to wash up lol. He is genuinely the best thing to happen to me ever. Sometimes the nice guy does win.